It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wise discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Ah, let's try that again. I had a feeling. I was looking over at my monitor because it did look like my audio was not on, but I believe it is on now. So anyway, let's try that again. Let's do a clean start. Why not? Let's just restart everything. I'm going to roll the open again because why not?
It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wise discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
All right, good morning everyone, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. So today is Tuesday, Christmas is in 2 days, and today it will be nice, but tomorrow, naughty. We're talking about fog that's going to snarl your travel plans. We'll take a look at this morning's time lapse showing a stunning sunrise. If the forecast is right, this is the last morning this week that will look this clear. 24 hours from now, you won't see any of this stuff. 48 hours from now, you won't see any of this stuff. And maybe 72 hours from now, you will also not be able to see the sunrise. We're talking about multiple mornings with fog. The first one coming tomorrow. There's actually already a dense fog advisory that was issued this morning in anticipation of what's to come tonight into tomorrow morning. So it might be a little misleading if you look at our TV channel or you open your weather app and you're seeing dense fog advisory. You're like, it's not foggy this morning. Why is there a dense fog advisory? And if you look closely at the details on that, it's not for this morning. It's for tomorrow morning, technically for tonight into tomorrow morning. And we'll see that's going to be round one of multiple rounds of holiday fog that could snarl travel. And I'm here to help you plan around this stuff. So as we plan ahead for the weather, this is what I want you to do today. Enjoy Tuesday, grab the sunshades, plenty of sun, no fog during the day. But once we get to this evening, that's when things are going to start to turn foggier. As you can see, we do find around or after 10 p.m. fog beginning to develop. Some spots it might happen even earlier than that. We'll show you the map in a moment. But look at this. The fog starts tonight and doesn't quit until late tomorrow morning, 10 or 11 in the morning. And you'll have a brief window of time tomorrow afternoon before it turns foggy again tomorrow evening. And that's Christmas Eve evening, all the way into Christmas Day morning. So did you get that? Multiple rounds of fog. The first one tonight, another round tomorrow night, and I think we'll see another one for Thursday night into Friday morning. So that gets you through the next 3 days, right? This is tonight into tomorrow morning. There you go with tomorrow night into Thursday morning, and then there you go with Thursday night into Friday morning. So multiple rounds of this, and each time it could be dense fog, each time it could be widespread fog. Here's a map to help you plan around this stuff. So if you have travel plans, if you have holiday plans, and you have the luxury of traveling today, I would absolutely do that. Some people are going to head over to spend the holiday time at a friend's house, relative's house. Today's a good travel day, weather-wise. You can see by noon, look at this, no rain hazards, no fog hazards across the whole map. It's not going to stay that way. As we slowly run through time, 1, 2, 3, we're okay. But by the time we get to 4, 5, 6 p.m., we're already starting to see the beginnings of some fog developing. It's probably going to develop over the water first, in the Gulf and in the Mississippi Sound. And then eventually that fog that develops offshore, out in the coast, that's going to eventually roll inland. So that's what we're going to be watching for, the fog that develops near the coast, eventually moving inland. So we're already going to begin to see some impacts of travel this evening. It's not going to wait. It's less than 12 hours away from round one of fog developing from the live broadcast of this video in the 8 o'clock hour Tuesday morning. So this is a look at how it starts near the coast, but eventually it will become much more widespread. So by the time we're at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock tonight, we're seeing a big picture of fog for the Mississippi coast. All 6 of our southernmost counties underneath, a good amount of fog, and that's spreading northward. This is going to be sea fog likely because it's developing over the sea, over the Gulf and the Sound, and it will move ashore, carried ashore by some onshore flow, some onshore wind. Notice the expanse of this. The sea fog will start on the coast and travel to the Pine Belt around midnight and then travel north of Interstate 20 by tomorrow morning. So this is a long expanse. If we do a measuring distance on this from the coast to I-20 is over 150 miles or so. And that's a very long fetch of fog to get all the way from the Gulf to the middle of Mississippi, just being a round of sea fog. Now, that's going to continue tomorrow morning, making for probably terrible Christmas Eve morning travel. So if you're going to be driving tomorrow, morning hours look pretty bad. And it's not just here on the Mississippi coast, but it's also on the Alabama coast, the Florida Panhandle coast, and the entire state of Louisiana. So just really bad. It also goes into East Texas as well with the fog on Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. Now we go to tomorrow midday and we're going to slowly but surely start to clear out some of this fog. Some places it might not ever clear out, but for many of us, I do think we're going to see some breaks. You can see even in parts of coastal Mississippi a few breaks in the fog tomorrow. It's a brief break because once we get to tomorrow evening, well, that went kind of fast. Let me go a little bit more slowly. 1, 2, 3, we're kind of gone, right? But then 4, 5, 6, we're already on round 2. So round 2 developing offshore and near the coast. So that's going to be that next round of fog developing over the Gulf, over the Sound, and it's going to move inland as we go from tomorrow night into Thursday morning. So that's your, it's in the song. It's literally in the lyrics, right? Then one foggy Christmas Eve. The rest of the lyrics, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you got my sleigh tonight? And thank goodness that Santa will have Rudolph tomorrow night because he's going to need it. We're going to need our low beams. Santa's got Rudolph. Here's a look at what happens between 6 o'clock Wednesday night and midnight Wednesday night, which is also known as Thursday morning. And you can see that expanse of dense fog continuing along the coast here. So very foggy overnight Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and this is going to continue during the morning hours. So if you have Christmas Day travel plans, you're still going to be running through some pretty low visibility on the roads, causing slowdowns, making it hard to see the car in front of you, as well as the cars behind you. And this continues for Thursday morning, but I do think we'll get a faster clearing. Christmas Eve, slow clearing, but Christmas Day, faster clearing from that fog. It is probably going to redevelop, though, once we go to Christmas night. There it is again, round 3, Thursday night, forming in the Gulf, on the Sound, and then rolling ashore. So there's another round, third round of fog that will move inland Thursday night and continue into Friday morning. Now, once we get beyond Friday, we're starting to get pretty far into the future for these fog forecast models, and the confidence becomes a little bit lower, so you take it with a bit of more of a grain of salt. If you're curious about if we're going to see fog on Friday night, we can take a look, but sometimes the computer models don't do well with fog that far in the future. It shows some areas of fog around, maybe not the type of extreme widespread stuff that we will be seeing at times on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Friday, but on Saturday morning, it looks like it might not be as extreme. The computer model also spitting out a few tiny rain showers, but I doubt that this rain is probably just so foggy that it tricks the model into thinking that that much moisture would materialize as a raindrop when it's really just a fog droplet. So in a 7-day forecast, it is difficult to message rounds of morning fog because a day is much more than just its morning. I will say, though, that I was very close to putting the word fog on Wednesday, since you only have like this much of Wednesday that won't be foggy. I mean, Wednesday from midnight to 11 a.m. could be foggy, and Wednesday from like 5 p.m. to midnight at night could be foggy. So that means there's only like noon to 4 p.m. That's the only part of Wednesday that might not have any fog. I still think some places might not even clear out. You still might be foggy, but in the best case scenario, you get some clearing between noon and 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. So that was a day I came really close to just swapping out the word mild for foggy, and maybe in future updates, our First Alert Weather team might declare Wednesday a First Alert Weather Day, not just because of the fact that most of the day is going to be foggy, but it's a pretty busy travel day. If people are driving to and or from relatives and friends' houses to gather for the holiday. So don't be surprised if you see Wednesday declared as a First Alert Weather Day because of the long duration of fog and the high volume of travelers on the roads for Christmas Eve Wednesday. Even on Christmas Day Thursday, there's still a high volume of travelers, but the duration of fog might be a few hours less. So you'll see maybe some slight improvement during the day on Thursday. It's still going to be really foggy as we just went through, but maybe it won't last exactly as long. So that's pretty much the whole update here. I do want to last before I go point out that there is a post-Christmas cool down. We mentioned it first yesterday during Good Morning Mississippi, as well as Waking Up with Wesley. And this is the second day that it continues to show up in our computer models, so the confidence is increasing as we get closer to early next week. A cold front will come down the line, so even though this week there are going to be above normal temperatures, not record-setting, but above normal temperatures, once we get past this week's warm pattern where we're continuing to tap into these warmer winds coming in from the west, we'll get to next week, and next week another surge of cold Canadian air comes down toward the coast, and that's how we'll be able to cash in on another cool down for you as we go to next week. And it's going to start from Sunday into Monday. Look at the steep drop there. Sunday 73, Monday 56 for a high. We're also going to see lows in the 30s. If I show you that 10-day forecast, that'll be the last thing I show before I go. I do want to show you the 10-day because it came in a little colder this morning, y'all. I was looking at the data, and I'm seeing 20s for some of our inland communities. So take a look at this. We got 2 10 days, one on the coast for places like Bay St. Louis, Waveland, Pass Christian, Long Beach, parts of Gulfport, Biloxi, south of I-10, Ocean Springs, St. Martin, and Gaucher, Pascagoula, and Moss Point, mainly south of I-10. That's what the coast one is. The inland one is for places mainly to the north of I-10, which does include Van Cleve, Saussure, Wiggins, Lucedale, Poplarville, Picayune, The Kill, and parts of Diamond Head. So that's the difference between inland and coast when you're looking at this in general. So yeah, draw your attention to the cool down once we go from Sunday. By the way, Wiggins could almost hit 80 on Saturday, by the way. So how about that weather whiplash? Wiggins almost 80 on Saturday, freezing 20s Tuesday morning. So that's, when you're inland and you're away from the coast, you get hotter days, you get colder nights. When you're by the coast, that usually puts a limit, being near the marine environment, the marine layer, it limits how hot the days can be. It limits how cold the nights can be because here's some science for you. The specific heat of water, go look that up. The specific heat of water. Water does not cool as quickly as air. Water does not heat as quickly as air. Have you ever sat trying to watch a boiling pot of water actually boil? It takes a long time to change the temperature of water. It takes more energy to change the temperature of water compared to air. So that's why coastal communities tend to have lower highs and higher lows. But once you get away from the water, areas that are inland, you don't have that water to help limit your range of temperatures. And so, yeah, freezing for Tuesday morning, freezing for Wednesday morning. That could be maybe a pipe freeze. It's too early to tell. And then we're perhaps out of the freezer by Thursday morning. So yeah, Happy New Year, happy cold New Year as we ring in 2026. The final wee hours of 2025 could be on the chilly side as we end the year with a couple of chilly days on December 30th and on Wednesday, New Year's Eve, December 31st, both of those days. On the coast, you're near freezing Tuesday morning, and it does look like a light freeze on Wednesday morning, but so much time between now and then, our team will easily help to fine-tune those numbers, and we'll be able to tell you exactly what to expect. But I just wanted to give you that early heads up of the change in our warm pattern going toward a chilly one as we close out the year. And if I don't see you between now and then, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But this has been Waking Up with Wesley, and I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. See you around.
Thank you for watching Waking Up with Wesley with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.